Most people believe manifestation is complicated, that it takes rituals, endless visualizations, and constant effort. But the truth is, it's much simpler. You are living inside a quantum field right now, a field that responds not to what you want, but to who you are. Every thought, every emotion, every intention is a broadcast, and the field is listening. The question is, are you sending a coherent signal, or are you sending noise? Because the moment your mind, your body, and your heart align, reality itself begins to change. And that's what we're going to explore together, how to stop chasing and start becoming.
Let's strip this down to something beautifully simple. Quantum manifestation is not about getting what you want. It's about collapsing into the version of reality where you already have it. Imagine this. The external world is not the starting point. It is the reflection. The starting point is always you, your state, your signal, your being. The quantum field is infinite. It already holds every possibility. Success and failure, abundance and lack, love and loneliness, health and struggle. All of it exists as waves of probability, floating in pure potential. And yet, none of those waves solidify until they meet an observer. That observer is you. Not just your conscious thoughts, but your attention, your focus, your emotions, even your subconscious patterns. These are the sculptors of reality. But here's where most people get stuck. They observe from fear. They focus on what's missing. They vibrate at the frequency of lack while trying to pull in abundance. They repeat affirmations they don't believe. They visualize outcomes while secretly doubting they'll ever happen. And in the quantum language, this is noise, not signal. You see, the field doesn't respond to words, to rituals, or to desperate effort. It responds to coherence, to clarity, to alignment. You've been taught to chase what you want, but the real art is to become the version of you that no longer needs to chase. The version that remembers, I am already entangled with the life I desire. The field is not far away. It is not separate from you. It is waiting for your clear broadcast. And your job is not to push harder, but to become clearer. So why don't people do this? Because simplicity is disarming. Because surrender feels like giving up. Because letting go of control feels like weakness. But here's the paradox hidden in plain sight. The moment you stop needing it so desperately, the field can finally deliver it. Think back to your own life, a time when something beautiful came to you effortlessly. Meeting the right person at the right time. A breakthrough idea that arrived when you weren't trying. An opportunity that seemed to fall into your lap. The common thread? You weren't forcing. You weren't gripping. You were open, available, at ease. That is quantum manifestation, whether you realized it or not, because the quantum doesn't care about what you say. It doesn't care if you chant, I am wealthy, 1,000 times. If your nervous system is still broadcasting fear, if your heart is clenched in scarcity, if your body is addicted to struggle, then the field mirrors that chaos back to you. Not out of cruelty, but because the field is precise. So here is the radical truth at the heart of quantum manifestation. It begins when you stop focusing on getting and start focusing on being. When you embody the state of already having. When your thoughts, your emotions, and your body align into a single clear signal. This is not about controlling the field. It is about resonating with it. And when you do, the field has no choice but to reflect your coherence back to you. That is the core idea. And this brings us to one of the most powerful mysteries of the quantum world, the observer effect. At the quantum level, Reality does not exist as fixed and solid. It exists as waves of pure possibility, shimmering fields of potential outcomes. But the moment an observer enters the scene, the wave collapses into one lived reality. Choices crystallize, the unseen becomes seen. And you, through your focus, your attention, your emotion, are the observer. But here's the twist no one talks about. The observer is not only your conscious mind, it is also your subconscious. This means you can consciously want abundance, love, health. But if your subconscious is still wired for scarcity, rejection, or fear, the field will tune to that deeper broadcast. The subconscious becomes the true observer, collapsing a timeline you never intended to choose. This is why so many people feel stuck. They do the affirmations, they repeat the visualizations, but they're aligning only their surface mind, while the deeper programs run unchecked, quietly steering the field. And in the quantum game, the subconscious always wins. But the story doesn't end there. Science is beginning to uncover why coherence is so powerful. Researchers like Dr. Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton have shown that the heart has its own electromagnetic field, far stronger than the brain. This heart field radiates outward, interacting with the larger quantum field around you. When your heart and mind are in harmony, your signal becomes unified, powerful, unmistakable. But when they're out of sync, the signal weakens, fragments, and distorts. This is why trying to manifest from the mind alone so often fails. Without the emotional component, without the felt sense of alignment, the field has no clear signal to mirror back. Most people try to think their way into change, when in truth they must feel their way into coherence. You cannot just tell the field what you want. You have to become a vibrational match to it. You have to tune your body, your breath, your nervous system, your beliefs, your daily action, so that they broadcast the same message. It is not a one-time ritual. It is a living practice. Think of the quantum field like a cosmic translator. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions align, the translation is flawless, the signal is clear, and the response is almost immediate. But when you're thinking one thing, feeling another, and acting in a way that betrays both, the message scrambles, and the field mirrors back not clarity, but chaos. The observer effect reminds us of something profound. You are not just watching reality unfold. You are actively shaping it, moment by moment. Not only with what you think, but with what you feel, believe, embody, and radiate. So ask yourself, right now, what timeline are you observing? Are you tuning into fear or into trust? Into lack or into abundance? Into waiting or into arrival? Because in every moment, the field listens. It listens not to your words, but to your coherence. And whatever signal you send with the fullness of your being, that is the timeline that collapses into your life. But even when we begin to glimpse the truth of the observer effect, there is a habit that pulls us back into struggle. I call it the trap of control. You see, most people are taught that if they want something, they must fight for it, push for it, chase it until it finally gives in. And so they carry this same mindset into manifestation. They visualize abundance, but then check their bank account every hour with fear. They script about love, but obsessively scan dating apps or reread text messages. They affirm health, but every morning they search their body for new symptoms. In doing this, they send a signal of mistrust into the field. On the surface, they say, "I believe." But underneath, their energy whispers, "I doubt." And the field, precise and unflinching, responds not to the words, but to the frequency beneath them. This is the control trap, affirming one thing consciously while broadcasting the opposite subconsciously. Why does this matter so much? Because the quantum field does not speak in human language. It does not hear your English, your Spanish, your mantras, or your chants. It speaks only one language, the language of energy. And energy never lies. So you can say all the right words, perform all the rituals, fill notebooks with affirmations. But if your nervous system is bracing for loss, if your mind is looping with doubt, if your body is tense with fear, then that is the frequency the field hears. And the result? Exhaustion. You end up working harder, chasing longer, grasping tighter, but never breaking through. Not because you're unworthy, not because the universe is cruel, but because you are tuned to the timeline of trying to get instead of the timeline of already having. This is the subtle trap. The more you try to control the outcome, the more you confirm to the field that you do not trust it. And mistrust becomes the signal you broadcast. Here's the paradox. The more tightly you grip, the more resistance you create. The more you loosen your grip, the faster the field can respond. This is not about passivity. It's not about sitting back and doing nothing. It's about shifting from control to co-creation. From desperate grasping to steady coherence. So let me ask you, where in your life are you holding the steering wheel with white knuckles? Where are you measuring, tracking, forcing, and chasing? And what would happen if you loosened your grip, even just by 10%? Pause with that. Feel it in your body. Because that small shift from control to trust is often the very doorway the field has been waiting for. And this is where the shift begins. The move from control into alignment. From chasing outcomes into becoming the signal itself. Quantum manifestation is not a mental trick. It is a full-body coherence, a weaving together of thought, emotion, and action into one unified broadcast. Think of it like music. If your mind plays one melody, your heart plays another, and your actions strike a discordant note. The song collapses into noise. But when all three join in harmony, you become a resonant frequency the field cannot ignore. This is what embodiment truly means. Not thinking about abundance, but practicing it. Not wishing for love, but becoming it. Not forcing health, but living it. If you want to embody abundance, practice generosity. Not only with money, but with your attention, your time, your kindness. Train your nervous system to feel, I have enough, even if the numbers in your bank account haven't caught up yet. If you want to embody love, practice vulnerability. Open your heart in small, courageous ways. Be the safe space you are longing to find in someone else. If you want to embody health, practice presence. Treat your body not as a problem to fix, but as an ally to honor. Move it, feed it, rest it, not out of punishment, but out of respect. This is coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions move as one, you stop leaking contradiction into the field. You become a clear, unified signal. And coherence creates a kind of gravity. It pulls the timeline of your desire closer and closer until it collapses into form. But here's the part most people misunderstand. Embodiment is not about feeling good all the time. It's about becoming fluent in your emotions. Welcoming fear without letting it drive the car. Holding space for doubt without letting it dissolve your signal. Learning to wobble and then return to alignment. Because you will wobble. There will be days when the old timeline tugs at your heels. Moments when doubt whispers louder than trust. But coherence is not perfection. It is the practice of returning again and again to your chosen frequency. So ask yourself, what would the version of me who already has what I desire choose right now? How would they walk? How would they breathe? What would they allow themselves to feel? When you live those answers, even in the smallest ways, You are no longer trying to pull your future toward you. You are living inside it already. This is alignment. This is embodiment. And this is the true art of quantum manifestation. And now the question becomes, how do we live this? How do we turn alignment from a concept into a rhythm of daily life? The answer is not found in grand rituals, but in simple practices repeated with presence. Because coherence is not a single moment, it is a way of being. Begin with the morning. Before you check your phone, before you enter the noise of the world, pause. Take a few breaths and ask yourself, what frequency am I tuning into today? Is it scarcity or abundance? Fear or trust? Control or flow? This single moment of choosing sets the tone for the entire day. Then, throughout the day, let your body become your compass. Notice when your chest tightens, when your breath shortens, when your thoughts spiral. These are not signs of failure, they are invitations. Invitations to recalibrate, to return. In that moment, pause. Breathe deeply. Soften your grip. And ask yourself, what would the version of me, living in my desired timeline, choose right now? That version of me, vote on. Then take one small action from that place. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It can be as simple as offering kindness when you're tempted to withdraw, choosing gratitude when fear is tugging at you, placing a hand over your heart and whispering, "I am safe." At night, before you drift to sleep, reflect, not with judgment, but with curiosity. Where did I wobble? Where did I align? Where did I glimpse my own power? Give thanks for even the smallest moments of coherence, because gratitude amplifies alignment. The more you honor it, the more it grows. And remember, you do not walk this path alone. We are social, energetic beings. We co-regulate with the people around us. This is why community matters. When you surround yourself with others who practice coherence, who live as creators, who play in the quantum field, your system entrains to that vibration. So curate your environment with care. Fill your space, your mind, your relationships with reminders of your chosen timeline. Let your external world become an ally to your internal state. Because manifestation is not about arriving at some distant finish line. It is about living in a continuous unfolding, moment by moment, breath by breath. Each day, each choice, is an opportunity to tune the dial again. Not with force, not with control, but with presence, with coherence, with being. And so we arrive at the deeper invitation, the part most people overlook. Manifestation is not about doing more. It is not about perfecting rituals or collecting endless techniques. It is about coherence, holding a steady signal even when life trembles around you. The true masters of manifestation are not the ones who know every method. They are the ones who have learned how to return to alignment again and again, no matter what arises. Because life will test you. There will be moments when fear creeps back in, when old patterns whisper in your ear, when the timeline you're leaving tries to pull you back. And in those moments, the temptation will be to grip harder, to control, to chase. But the real mastery is this. Can you stay in the frequency of trust even before the evidence arrives? Can you hold the vibration of it is already done while the world still looks unchanged? Can you be so anchored in your chosen timeline that the old one no longer seduces you? This is where embodiment becomes non-negotiable. So let's make this living. Each morning, before the world distracts you, ask, what frequency will I tune into today? And throughout the day, let your body be the barometer. Tension is the sign you've slipped. Softness is the sign you've returned. When you notice misalignment, Don't spiral into shame. Simply pause, breathe, and recalibrate. Ask, what would the version of me who already has it choose right now? Then take even the smallest step from that place. At night, before sleep, replay the day with curiosity. Where did I wobble? Where did I realign? Where did I taste my own coherence? And give thanks. Because gratitude amplifies everything it touches. And remember this truth, there is no finish line. This is not about finally arriving and then being done. This is about becoming, moment by moment, a conscious participant in the dance of creation. You are not here to manipulate the field from a distance. You are entangled with it. You are the wave and the one who collapses the wave. You are both the observer and the observed. So when you choose coherence, you are not just asking life to meet you. You are becoming the life you have been seeking. And this is the deeper invitation, to live not as a seeker, but as a creator. To stop chasing the future and instead radiate the frequency of all. And now, as we close this journey together, I want to leave you with a truth that is both humbling and liberating. Manifestation is not a performance. It is not something you master once and never revisit. It is a living practice, a choice you make moment by moment, breath by breath. There will be days when you wobble, days when fear whispers louder than faith, moments when the old timeline tugs at your sleeve, tempting you back into control and doubt. And yet, the power is never in never falling. The power is in how quickly you return. Every morning, ask yourself, what frequency am I tuning into today? Throughout the day, let your body guide you back into alignment. If you find yourself led astray by increased demands or fatigue, at night, give thanks for even the smallest moments of coherence. And remember this, community matters. We do not create in isolation. We co-regulate with those around us. When you surround yourself with voices, spaces, and souls who are practicing coherence, your own field strengthens. You rise together. This is why I created this space, Inner Alchemy, not just as a channel, but as a living community of creators, seekers, and visionaries remembering who they are. The free yogi way means love. Now the free yogi. So if this transmission has stirred something inside you, if you felt a spark, a shift, a remembering, I invite you now to take part in this unfolding. Pause and share one word in the comments that names the energy you are choosing to embody this week. Trust, ease, abundance, love. Whatever comes to you first, write it, declare it, plant that seed in the quantum field. And if this message resonated with you, let it ripple further. The moment we try to define it, like this video, share it with someone you love. And subscribe to Inner Alchemy. Because each time you do, you're not just supporting a channel, you are strengthening a movement of hearts and minds, reshaping what is possible. Carry this truth with you. You are not separate from the field. You are not a beggar at the gates of the universe. You are the field itself, the wave, the signal, the creator. So keep tuning, keep aligning, keep becoming. And as you do, watch how reality begins to bend in your direction.